Despicable Me looks cute, but it's got some weird and dark stuff hiding under the laughs. Here are 20 dark facts about the movies, the Minions, and what they actually mean if you look closer. Gru is basically a kidnapper at the start. He adopts Margot, Edith, and Agnes as part of a scheme to get inside Vector's house, then slowly becomes their dad. That heartwarming arc begins with a criminal plan. Gru might be half werewolf. Some fans point to a family tree shot and say Marcel looks wolfish, which has spawned jokes that Gru is half werewolf. Later in the movie, when Gru shrinks the moon, we can actually see werewolves, which means they exist in their world. His name literally sounds criminal. We all think that his name is Gru, but it's actually his last name. As we find out, when he adopts his girls, his first name is Felonious. This is a play on the name Thelonious, but Felonious is an actual word related to criminality. There's a dark internet theory that Minions were inspired, at least visually, by images of children abused during World War II. The idea points to gas mask photos and single-lens face gear as an eerie resemblance. The filmmakers have never confirmed anything like this. It's an unsettling set of coincidences fans noticed online. Still, the comparison is crazy enough that it makes people look twice at the design choices. Usually villains wear black or red, but the evil Minions are purple for a reason. It's a simple color code. Yellow reads as friendly and warm, while purple is the opposite on the color wheel. A visual shortcut for kids to show who is good and who is bad. Gru's main plan in the first film is not a metaphor. He wants to steal the moon. That plot point plays like a goofy heist, but in reality, it would be planetary-level destruction. The film frames it as a caper, and by skipping any serious consequences, it turns a catastrophic idea into a cartoon gag. There are no female minions in the films, and the creators admitted their design didn't include any women. That was criticized by fans, so a silly visual decision ended up carrying real social meaning. It's a reminder that even small design calls in family films can affect how audiences read representation. Gru's past is sketchy on purpose. You get hints, a cold home, a distant dad, a lonely childhood, but the movie never fully explains how he became a villain. Those missing pieces let fans imagine darker origins like abuse or deep loneliness. Leaving that silence in the story makes Gru more sympathetic on screen, but it also invites darker fan readings that the film never addresses. Minions lose purpose without a boss. On their own, the Minions become aimless and sad. Their whole drive comes from finding someone to serve. That comic beat reads as tragic if you lean into it. Creatures who only have meaning when attached to a powerful leader. It's funny in the moment, but it can be read as a bleak view of identity and purpose. When the Minions search for bosses, they walk through wars, tyrants, and chaotic historical moments, all presented as slapstick. The shorts and prequel film use brutal images as background for jokes, which feels tone-dead if you think about the real events being referenced, making whole eras into a gag strips context and can feel disrespectful. Gru adopts 3 girls while running a criminal plot, and the film skips adoption checks, social services, and legal consequences entirely. The movie wants us to get to the emotional payoff fast, so it edits out the messy reality of custody, courts, or criminal liability. That choice protects tone, but it also erases how serious adoption actually is. Minions serve real historical villains in jokes. They're shown briefly with figures like Dracula or Napoleon in cutaway gags, which puts real violent or oppressive names into a children's context. The joke is meant to be light, but the inclusion of certain figures raises odd questions about which historical players become punchlines. It's playful, and yet a little unsettling when you think about the real histories behind those faces. Minions pop up across centuries and always look the same, as if they never age. That long lifespan makes you wonder how many deaths and awful events they quietly remember. If they truly witness so much, it reframes them as survivors of history rather than mere comedic extras. Pierre Coffin, who co-directed the films, performs the Minions' voices, hundreds of variations recorded by a single actor. For the standalone Minions movie, he reportedly did nearly 900 little takes and tweaks, so every squeak and giggle traces back to him. That obsessive vocal work is impressive, but it also highlights how manufactured he Minions are. Early concepts were far darker. Before the final cute design, early art imagined minion-like creatures as ugly, orcish monsters. The team pivoted to the friendly yellow look specifically to make Gru more sympathetic and the film sellable to families. Remember, the warmth you feel toward those sidekicks was a calculated change, not an accident. The poster for the second film contains hundreds of individually modeled minions, not lazy copy-paste duplicates. Animators mixed eye count, height, hair, and little quirks so the crowd actually feels alive, which shows how much effort went into even background details. Those tiny choices add realism, but they also underline how manufactured the world is. Mignonese is a stitched-together language. Their speech isn't random babble. It's a playful patchwork of real words and sounds pulled from English, Spanish, Italian, Hindi, and more. That mix makes Minion gibberish feel familiar to lots of different people, which is brilliant marketing. At the same time, it creates an uncanny effect. You almost understand them, but you don't. The Minions turned into the franchise's cash engine. The little yellow guys exploded into toys, theme park rides, and advertising mascots, and those sales started driving choices about sequels and spin-offs. The business shaped the story. Characters that sell toys get more screen time, and the films bend toward repeatable jokes and merchandise-friendly beats. Art followed the money. In the second movie, the PX-41 serum mutates yellow Minions into purple Savage versions. They become stronger, crazier, and nearly indestructible. The sudden, brutal transformation is one of the franchise's darkest visual shocks, a joke that turns physically violent and disturbing on screen. It shows how thin the line is between silly and scary in this world. Minions survive impossible conditions. Their mutations let them resist freezing, survive low-oxygen environments, and even handle space-like conditions in the story. That weird durability is used for jokes. Minions going anywhere, doing anything. But it's oddly unsettling if you imagine what a creature like that could be used for. It turns them from harmless comic relief into oddly useful biological tools in a darker read.